on your
Hi.
Shannon is our guest, our special guest, the physician, or actually the pharmacist. So we can go ahead and start.
I have Bobby and Shannon in the waiting room. Those are yours as well, correct?
Yes.
And there's
Yeah,
somebody.
oh, yes, yes,
Yes.
Yeah, we've got a few people. Yes.
Okay, and there's somebody with an iPhone. It just says
Okay.
iPhone. Not for
They're
sure.
the only ones who are going to know about it. So go ahead and please.
Probably my mother.
Okay, well, sometimes I have people that pop into my Zooms at different times,
Oh,
getting their
okay.
time zone wrong. So I just want to make sure they're yours.
Thank
I have a
you.
Bobby
iPhone's
Coleman,
probably my mother.
Shannon Hall, and then iPhone. Okay.
Hi, Bobby. Thanks, honey. Hi, Shannon.
Here
It's nice
comes
to meet you.
Joe
Hello.
Infield.
Yes, Joe is good.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Wonderful. I'm excited to help you guys today and get your questions answered.
Thank you.
Catherine, I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Go ahead. We are, and I know Shannon is the pharmacist who's interested, and you go ahead, Shannon. I know that you have a little bit more questions. We want to go ahead and tailor this to some of your questions. So we're really glad that you're here today. Thanks.
So Sarah is the one who introduced me to it, and then I started doing a little research and I saw that you can use it. You do different protocols depending on what you're treating, and it's more like acupuncture points. So I guess one of my questions is about training, of knowing which points to do it on. So if I'm tailoring it for neuropathy or something like that, what's the education provided so that I know how to treat a patient?
Yeah, so if you're a practitioner or doctor, then we utilize this book, Self-Healing with Light. So it's not something that every distributor has. This is not from the company. This was written by an acupuncture physician, and those of us that are doctors and practitioners utilize this book with our clients to help them get a little bit deeper into what's going on with them and help them using different patches and protocols.
Are you watching it now?
To be able to achieve success, right? So we always start with the X39 stem cell activation patch. That's the foundation. Signaling the body to increase its own stem cell production is the start, right?
Okay.
And then, so for example, with this book, if I look in here and I click on because we're so used to clicking. If I click on hypertension, right, we can talk about some basic patches that work to help with high blood pressure, okay, without even looking at a protocol. We can tell you that we know based on clinical studies, the X39 is going to improve the functionality of the heart every 6 weeks. Using it becomes 8 weeks younger in its functionality. So we can start right there, right? We can talk about Eon reducing inflammation. Reducing inflammation is key to the physical body, right? As far as the disease process is low. We know that it reduces fibrinogen, which is a blood clotting factor, which has a direct link to coronary artery disease. We can also look at carnosine. Carnosine is a huge antioxidant in the body, and our patch signals the body to make more carnosine. That carnosine is going to work to repair in the heart, right? We know that. We can look at those 3 patches just simply, right? But we can also look at the protocol, and with the book, you can see that it recommends these specific patches, energy enhancers, on these specific acupuncture points. And so every protocol is very self-explanatory because it shows the patches, what acupuncture point, and then it has a picture.
Okay.
So it's kind of like written for a kindergartner almost, which is fantastic because I'm not an acupuncturist. Okay?
Exactly, yeah.
I took some acupuncture courses, but not anything that I was like, yes, I get acupuncture, but not that it's a technology or a modality that I'm like, yes, I want to learn it and teach it and do it. So I'm so grateful for the different protocols and where they show. So you can have access to this book. We'll share with you the lady that prints them for us. And as far as teaching and training, we can work very closely with you to help you. So for a practitioner and a doctor, David has done some very specific videos that are geared more in depth to more of our terminology and world, right? And so I can share those with, obviously with Catherine, Mark, they can share them with you. We can all three be on a text thread or a Facebook or an email thread, whatever works best for you for communication purposes. Everybody's involved in that, right? But as far as the videos, David has done those 4, but he's also done a video on every single patch. And so he's done a 1 hour on every patch, and that gives the studies, the research, what's happened, what he's found with people, and the different uses. Because when you're signaling a peptide like these patches do, they signal different peptides. Each patch doesn't just do one thing, right? And that's why they're used so many, right? They're used in so many different protocols for so many different things. You say, well, carnosine works to repair the heart, but it also balances blood sugar. How is that even possible? And it works in the brain for people with cognition. Well, each patch does a lot of things because it's signaling peptides to do those things. So we'll work together on that to make sure that you have the knowledge and the education or the resources to get the information direct from David. So everything that I say is coming from videos that David has shared, right, that he's done, and also printed materials that the company has provided to be able to utilize as resource and tools. This book here is the only thing that isn't company printed because of, obviously networks of physicians and practitioners. We all sometimes come up with our own things to be able, like I work directly with 3 different acupuncturists in my organization that are just a wealth of knowledge and information. They blow my mind. They're like, well, if you put it on this and spleen 6 and liver 30, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. Just tell me what to do. Right?
Yeah. And that's one of the things I found a protocol, because my mom has some lung issues. So I found a breathing one, and I was looking at that too. And that's what I was like, I need to learn. I know a little bit about acupuncture, but not enough to have a custom protocol on it.
Yeah. And so that's the thing with the book. This has been, they've been done. They've been used for over 10 years. And so we know that the people that have, put these protocols together, I've actually met some of them when I was in Tulum back in April, some of the acupuncture physicians, and they're just a wealth of knowledge, but this is their whole life. They're from, a lot of them are from China. So TCM is what they were raised in. So this is all they know and do. And so they've compiled this information for us to be able to utilize. But if you look at every single patch for just your everyday person, every patch comes with an instruction booklet. And that booklet shows you exactly which acupuncture points that you can apply the patch and what that looks like on a body. So if I look at, this is energy enhancer, like this comes with the patch when you order it. So that it can only go here, 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 or here. If you put it somewhere else, it's not going to increase your stamina, endurance, and energy. Right. And you can see that there's a white and a tan, right? And so any person that receives patches, they don't have the book, right? They don't have these detailed protocols. They know that this is what SP6, this is where it goes on the inside of the left ankle, right there underneath the knee, or right there on the inside of that part of the ankle. And so we can definitely, always reference here, because this is where the clinical studies have been done.
Okay.
Right. We don't have clinical studies on these protocols because they're for specific
indications. Gotcha.
Conditions and issues and, symptoms or disorders or diseases. And we're not claiming to, cure or treat any of that. So this shows you, if you put this patch here and you wear this here, in 7 days, it's going to improve the functionality of your endocrine system by 87%. Okay. That's what the clinical study says. Okay. So that's what we always want to reference and go to, is what the clinical studies show.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So my other question would be, since I own a pharmacy and we'd be doing it more in a retail setting, normally I do basically, buying things wholesale and redoing it. So how does the way the company's set up with the multi-level, how does that work that I can do it as a retail? And I do consultations and functional medicine stuff. So that's how I see it working, is me doing more of a custom consultation with the patient. But how does that work?
So anybody can have a wholesale account. You can purchase it wholesale, sell it retail. There's no stipulations, no requirements. nothing that you have to do or fulfill. You just buy whatever you want, as much as you want through that account, and you can turn around and sell it at retail. They do require you to not go over that retail price, which is $150 for the X3949 and then $80 for the supportive patches. But other than that, you can buy as much as you want and sell as much as you want. And we have so many practitioners that have stores, that have offices, that have retail shops set up where they have, essential oils and herbs and tinctures, all of that. And so this can definitely, we're not putting this in Walmart, big box stores or anything like that. This is sold individually through people that are working with their clients. But I work with hundreds and hundreds of practitioners and doctors that do that. Yeah.
So there's one when I was doing some Google searching that basically she had on her website, it was like a 5-day like reset kind of thing. And so I'm guessing she separated because they only come in boxes of 30, right?
So we call them sleeves, is a month supply. And so they all come in a month supply except for the LifeWave and the Energy Enhancer. Those two patches, our actually 2-patch system. And so what that means is you have a tan patch and a white patch. They work with the polarity of the body. And so whether it's LifeWave or Energy Enhancer, one of the white goes on the right, the tan goes on the left. So when I showed you that picture of this Navy SEAL guy looking here, right? Like, this is the guy that David patched initially 20 years ago. Look at his abs. I mean, seriously, dude. But anyways, so you can see the white right and the tan left. So Energy Enhancer and LifeWave work white, white, tan left. And so there are 30 patches, but it's only 15-day supply.
Okay.
And another reason why too is because you don't necessarily need LifeWave every single day. You don't necessarily need Energy Enhancer every single day, right?
Yeah.
And so those are the only 2 sleeves that have a 15-day supply. Everything else has a 30-day supply.
Okay. So is that maybe what she's doing, is just making custom protocols and saying, instead of having to buy everything for 30 days, here's a 5-day reset. So can you do things like that?
I've never seen what you're talking about, but you can, if you want, like, she's doing like a 5-day detox. Is that what she's doing?
Yeah, I think she's doing a 5-day detox idea is what she's doing. So she's like, it's like, I think I just saw it on her thing, so I didn't get good information on it, but I think that she must be just doing a 5-day detox and having certain patches to do it.
So my question is, we have 4 different detox protocols. So my question is, I wonder if she's doing this. So
yeah,
this is 5 days, and you use these 3 patches during the day and these 3 patches at night on these locations. So I wonder if that's what she's doing.
Maybe that's what she's doing. Okay.
I don't know. But you can customize and you can create if you're like, oh, hey, here's the thing you have to remember with the X39 and Eon, even the glutathione and carnosine, like our studies show 3 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
And so if you're doing a 5-day of something, not going to say that you're going to get any results based on clinical studies.
Yeah, I understand.
That's what we have to really look at. Like, can you do a 5-day detox? Would you feel anything? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But my clinical studies are telling me that this is what's going to happen over a 3 to 6 week period for 80% of the people from our studies. And so that's where we really want to focus, is that. So if you're saying, if you want to do something, I'd say do a 90-day reset.
Yeah.
Right. We know how things work with people every 90 days. That's where you can really see some significant changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can do whatever you want to do. The company doesn't.
I was just curious if that was like a normal thing, that maybe she just came up with that, and that way, just to sell or what. I didn't know what.
Well, and here's the thing too. A lot of times we'll give out a 5-day sample to people. I do that all the time. But because people say, well, I want to try the patch. Well, that's fantastic. You can try it. I'm not going to tell you you're going to feel anything from 5 days. Again, studies say 3 to 6 weeks, but I'll give you 5 days. I'd love for you to get in the habit of actually putting it on the back of your neck in the morning when you wake up, drinking your required amount of water every day, which is half your body weight in ounces, and actually taking it off 12 hours later and throwing it away, and doing it again the next day. And the next day, after the end of that 5 days, you're probably going to get, we know 21 days is a habit, 63 days is really set in stone, right? For those new neural pathways. But giving that 5 days is going to kind of get you in the habit of, putting it on, taking it off, getting your water in, because most people don't drink half their body weight in ounces every day anyway.
Nope. Yeah.
But when I tell people, if I'm going to give you 5 days worth, this is why I'm giving it to you. Practice drinking water every day. If you feel anything, fantastic. I'm not going to say that you are, but if you do, let me know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So do you have any other questions, or does anybody else have questions? You guys can feel free to type your questions in your chat or unmute yourself, ask away, whatever I can do to help.
So is the book from Sally Fung?
Yes.
Okay, we've got that information. The fact is, we have the book. We use it all the time. So it's,
Yes. Yeah.
And we're not physicians, but we like it anyway.
we will make sure that Shannon gets that book.
It's okay. She can have access to that book. Absolutely. The reason why I say that is because I don't want, you don't just sign up as a distributor for the company and now you're going to start, diagnosing people and writing protocols and saying this and this and this when you don't have that body awareness or even that knowledge, right? And so there are people, obviously, that are not physicians or practitioners that have that knowledge. So I'm not saying there isn't, but we just don't throw that out there and announce that to everybody like, oh, get a book. Start diagnosing people.
Yeah. Get yourself in trouble a little bit.
Yeah, we don't want to do that for sure.
And Stacy, this
Yeah.
is Sarah.
Hey,
Hey.
Sarah.
Hey, and that I bought that book coming for Shannon and me now. So she'll have that pretty soon. And also there's another Shannon on the call, and I put an IceWave patch or 2 IceWave patches on her yesterday. And I think they were pretty helpful for her neck pain. So I was really excited because I just got them and I'm pretty clueless still. So I looked at the pictures and watched the video and went, well, let's try this. And I think it was helpful.
Good. Yeah. So with IceWave, white right, tan left, or you can do, if you look at the videos, there's different clockwise methods and sandwiching and all that kind of stuff. I just do white right, tan left. Throw on an Eon and an X39 at the same time and you're good to go.
So when I look for the 1 hour video per patch, is that all pretty easy to find on YouTube? Same normal spots? I guess I've seen a lot of his videos, but I've never really searched for something like that. Would there be
So
something
are you in the
specific I'd
corporate
search?
page, Mark?
I can
Lifewave-
get there, sure. Yeah, if they're there, I'll find them.
That's where they're at.
Okay,
So he has videos on YouTube. You just have to sift through the different languages, right?
sure,
But I find them all because Emily interviews him.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they're
I'll
all on
find
that
them.
corporate page. The
I'll
app
find them and make
has
sure that the links are
videos,
there.
but they're smaller, right? They're not the full 1 hour in depth.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll just compile that list and make sure that the team gets it.
Perfect.
Stacy, would you mind, because I know that we've been sharing with everybody that everybody's different. Some people can see and feel things right away. Some
Mhm.
people take months to see and feel. And I think that was the biggest thing because I'm stubborn and that's the only reason I kept with it. And I knew I knew stem cells worked. And, it was 3 months before I really saw anything. And so I just really want to encourage people, and you're the one that's been doing this for a while, that it's working because they're working in your body, whether you feel like it or not. And they're going directly into the organs and areas that are really the most challenged and needing help. Is that correct?
Yeah. And so how I said earlier, 80% of the people experience result in the first 3 to 6 weeks. There's another 20% that it's 3 to 6 months. And we're all very different. And here's the thing you have to remember too, if you don't feel your hair growing, you don't feel your liver regenerating, you sure don't feel your heart if it's the vessels are clearing out, you don't feel those things. But we know from the clinical studies that, systems are improving in our body. Cells are, improving, functionality is improving. And we can see this from our studies, right? From the different ways that we test people, whether it's HRV or microscopy or traditional blood work or echoes or EEGs or EKGs or neurofeedback, biofeedback, bio. Well, you pick it. There's every modality under the sun in those clinical studies. And so knowing that stem cell regeneration of any cell or tissue and organ in your body takes time. And that's why we have that general rule of thumb, 1 month for every 10 years you are old. And so that's really a starting point. So if you're 50, I always tell people, just start with 6 months. That's your starting point. Now, are you going to see progress or results? Or are you going to feel things over 6 months? Yeah, of course you are. What are you going to notice? I don't know, because I really don't know. And I probably bet you don't know either what is seriously going on inside of your body. What's happening with your spleen? Like, do you really know? Do you know what's really happening? Unless you have something outwardly presenting itself, like high blood pressure or diabetes or, thyroid or, what, unless you have something outwardly presenting, do you really even know what's going on with those systems? And so using the health tracker, I use this sheet to be able to help my clients to track their progress every day, every week, and throughout the first 90 days, because that's where I see, that's why I look at people and say, we're going to look at, depending on their age, most people are somewhere between, mid 40s to 70s, right? So we're going to look around that 6-month mark as where we're going to set ourselves up for, that's our starting point. We're going to really track over the next 90 days. Let's see what's happening. How's my sleep? How's my energy level? What am I? Because you know what happens when something hurts or when something's a problem. As soon as it's gone, you forget that it even existed. Thank God, God doesn't torture us and have us remember pain that it's not even there. But when you wake up in the morning and you go about your day and you're like, it didn't dawn on you that you didn't have to crawl out of bed, or that you actually could bend over and tie your shoes, or you went up that flight of stairs without being out of breath. Those are things you forget that you didn't do. And so keeping track of that progress, those little bitty things, you guys have read Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, right? Day after day, week after week, month after month, things build up, and we can see the really big progression at that 18 to 24 month mark, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying you need 18 to 24 months to have massive improvements, but I know when I was doing hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy with Taylor, they said 60 dives, 1 hour each in that tank should carry you out about 18 months is what the clinical study showed. So we spent 60 hours at 16 feet below sea level in a pressurized tank, pumping 100% of oxygen into a hood that was over her head. 60 hours, hoping to get 18 months of improvement in her stem cell production from her bone marrow. I mean, the stuff that I've done, this is so simple and easy. And knowing that it's resetting 6,000 genes to their perfect expression from day one, that is huge, right? And each gene expresses to 1 to 2 other genes. And so knowing that compound effect of that daily expression of upregulating those genes and of increasing your stem cells, and they're going to work in your eyes and your ears and your heart and your kidneys and your liver and your cells, everything is being affected in a positive, beneficial way with zero risk or side effects or contraindications to anything you're doing for the price of a cup of coffee. It's like, thank you, God, right? Like, we have been praying for something like this. And, here comes David Schmidt. And I found out about this, over 14, almost 15 months ago in my never ending quest to find anything and everything, right? Tools in the toolbox to be able to help my family and everybody have a better quality of life. And yeah, this is not a pill. You're not going to take a pill and then boom, your pain went away or that symptom is gone. We can use the ice wave. We can use the Nirvana for anxiety, stress, depression, right? To help stabilize your mood. We can use energy enhancer for stamina, endurance, and energy. But knowing that this is getting to the root of the problem, inflammation, reducing inflammation, increasing stem cell production. We're not masking the problem, right? I had a lady I talked to the other day, and she's like, I've been on Lipitor for, 8-10 years. And I wanted off. I stopped using it, and my cholesterol went back up. What do I need? And she's like, what do I need to do? And I'm like, well, did you expect the Lipitor to repair your heart? Like, that's kind of an unrealistic expectation, but it made your number look pretty and you were happy with that, but yet nothing had really changed. And so now we need to look at what needs to change in order for that cholesterol to go down on its own, right? And she's like, well, what would I do diet? What would I do nutrition? What would I do patch wise? How could I get my heart in better shape without masking a number or, covering something up? So know that it takes time, but know that time is the only thing we have, right? It's going to go by no matter what. So the question is, am I going to stop my aging process and start reversing it today? Or am I going to continue to age day after day, week after week, and month after month, right? Because the technology says we're going to go back to 25. And I'm like you, I didn't experience crazy off the wall. You know, I told my sister-in-law this weekend, she was like, well, I'm not like you. I don't have this and that. She was, you know, talking a little bit about being a distributor. And I said, well, if anybody was waiting for me to have this huge, massive aha epiphany experience, none of the 5,000 plus people that are in my organization would be here, because that hasn't happened for me, right? I'm here for prevention, for vitality, and for longevity. That's what stem cells, that's what I've always wanted them for, right? And so the biggest thing that I can say is 6 months in, my biomarkers showed that I'm 30 and I'll be 48 next month. So that's all I got. Otherwise, I don't have anything to share with you guys. So if that's not like dramatic enough, right?
So this is Mark's hair and my hair.
Oh, wow.
We haven't shown that picture yet. So we're reversing, we're going back to our black hair. I'm so excited. I want to, you have to let me know where we can do that biomarker thing and stuff later on. Okay. Because I want to do that test of my heart too. So
Yes. Okay. So Shannon says she felt relief within minutes. All chronic pain in her neck and shoulders was gone within a couple of hours, lasting through approximately 10 p.m. last night. Patches applied to approximately 1:15 yesterday. Today it's markedly different without them. So basically, she's fiscally resistant. However, after close to 2 years of consistent pain and relief, 2 small patches, I'm here.
yay.
It's awesome.
Isn't that great, Shannon? 2 small patches. I love it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Shannon, they didn't fix your problem, right? We didn't get to the root of the issue, but the ice wave opens up those energy channels working with the polarity of your body. And so it helped you to get that immediate pain relief. And using the X39 and Eon day after day, week after week, a month after month, are going to get down to the core of the issue. And that's what you want, right? You want to get down to the root of it, because I don't have that pain. Right. And Catherine isn't experiencing that same pain, and neither is Mark or Shannon. And so something is off balance in your body. So let's get the body back into balance. It wants to be in homeostasis, right? Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. What other questions do you guys have in the next couple minutes? Anything else I can help you with?
I don't have any specific questions. I just wanted to relay to the group that it's not a one and done. Stacy's one of the top people in the company, and we appreciate her time. But she's also, Dr. Stacy, so very knowledgeable about the things that you can and should do. And so we have her as a resource. So feel free to, call Catherine or I anytime, and we, have a direct line to Stacy, and we appreciate her input in guiding our involvement in LifeWave.
Well, I'm happy to help you guys.
Appreciate it. And then we're
Absolutely.
sending the recording to us. We'll send this out to other people. We really appreciate you.
No, I definitely will. And if you guys want to get back together again and do another Zoom, if you have private, I know a lot of times people are like, well, I don't want to share what's going on with me on a Zoom publicly. You can definitely reach out to Catherine and Mark and myself, and we can help you guys, individually. We do that all the time. What do you recommend for this? What do you recommend for that? Just remember, I'm not your physician. So I don't have your tests or your blood work. Please check with your doctor, of course, or your healthcare practitioner that you're working with directly on anything going on with you. But I can make recommendations based on clinical studies. And that's what I do. I stress that to you as well, Shannon, as a pharmacist. We look at the studies, and so we can share the information from the clinical studies and what David has found and the other researchers and doctors that have done these studies all over the globe. And we can say, well, based on this is what we would recommend because this is what was used in this study. So we can definitely share that information with you. StartX39.com holds all of our clinical studies. So you can find every single study there and the patents. We don't hide anything. It's all public knowledge because we want you to be educated. We want you to know the facts and the science, even though sometimes it may be like this abstract says, what? What are these words? Just know that we can help you sift and sort through that information as well too, so that you make an educated decision. Because this is really, about you taking ownership in your health. And I think that's the biggest part of and mission of this company is to say, we have a technology to help you and assist you in taking control of your health and your future. And it's not that complicated. It's really not, right? Getting down to the basics and supporting the body and the systems in the best way, in the safest way is what we're all about. So Happy
Well,
to
thank
help.
you
in
both
any way.
Shannons. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Sarah, Joe, and Brenda, and Nelda, and Miss iPhone. We appreciate you guys for being here. And Rosemary. And